Hi everyone, it's Eleni from Tree of Life Nutrition, back again to talk about the Mediterranean diet. But this time, instead of talking about it for our physical health, I'm going to chat to you about mental health and how the Mediterranean diet specifically can impact your mental health in a really positive way. So there's been so much evidence to tell us about the correlation between diet and not only stamina and energy levels, but for memory, cognitive function, and sleep. But we're going to apply it specifically to the Mediterranean diet, which again is such a well-researched area. So there's been so much research for the med diet principles specifically, and one most common trial, and if you do a quick Google search, this will come up straight away, of the SMILES trial. So what the SMILES trial was looking at is that direct correlation between the Mediterranean diet and mental health. So what it was doing in a nutshell is it had two groups of participants. It gave one group the intervention of a strict Mediterranean diet, and the other group, without no dietary intervention, gave them a peer support group. And across a certain amount of time, it assessed their depressive symptoms. And across that time, it found that those following the Mediterranean diet actually had more of a reduction in those depressive symptoms. Now that's pretty powerful because that's food and diet alone, and food's fun most of the time. So let's dive into why. So not forgetting, some of the key components of the med diet includes nuts and seeds, it includes oily fish as well, it includes herbs and spices, it includes less red meat as well, which was one of the biggest components of the med diet. Now, these types of foods contain really good amounts of tryptophan, selenium, vitamin D as well, and all of those play a massive role in sleep and mental health. And of course, we know that correlation between poor or inadequate sleep can really negatively impact our mental health and what that next day looks like, which we can all kind of vouch for. So the other aspect is polyphenols. So polyphenols are compounds that are packed with antioxidants, and these have been associated with a decreased risk of depressive symptoms. And so in our Mediterranean diet specifically, incorporating more food such as the nuts and seeds, herbs and spices as well, extra virgin olive oil is massive, as well as berries, dark chocolate and red wine, so some fun ones chucked in there as well. So incorporating a few of those in your daily diet and even in your weekly diet, you should be reaping the rewards of that. So what can you do to get yourself started on focusing on your mental health from a diet perspective? So a few things to get you started. Swapping some of those unhealthy refined snacks with healthier versions such as fruit, nuts and seeds, whole grain crackers, legumes and lentils, and there's lots of different little. Happy Snack Company, for example, has the roasted chickpea range, which are a fantastic option. Then you've got swapping refined sugars for natural sugars. So swapping, say, sugars for fresh fruit, honey, those naturally occurring sugars. You've also looking at swapping your salty foods to include olives and feta cheese, massive part of the Mediterranean diet. And then obviously always remembering introducing 3 serves of fish a week minimum and reducing your red meat to once a week, okay? But finally, aside from the Mediterranean diet, which this is also incorporated in the Mediterranean diet, is low GI. So this is something that everyone should be following, and it's all talking about your carbohydrate quality. So not necessarily about the quantity, but the quality. How quickly or how slow is those carbohydrate sources being broken down in the body and being released into your blood sugar. The quicker that process is, the less sustainable energy. So the longer that process is and the slower release, we get that sustainable energy, and all throughout the day, you're just hovering. You're hovering over that sustainable energy rather than getting the roller coaster of emotions and appetite, and therefore a big correlation with mood and food. And that's one of the biggest things that I see in practice, is implementing that low GI diet. So a few low GI swaps from high GI to low GI typically include more fiber. So swapping white bread to brown bread, swapping your rice crackers, for example, to whole grain crackers, looking at, instead of white rice, brown rice or basmati rice, swapping dried fruit to fresh fruit, trying to reduce some of the refined sugars so that the body has a bit of work to do, a bit of something to do during the day so that it keeps itself busy and giving that slower release across the day. It's like taking your time in digesting your food essentially. So couple of extra tips and tricks on top of the Mediterranean diet principles you're all following. And this time you're reaping the rewards from the mental health side of things on top of the physical health. Have a great day.